Okay, and then just going back to that previous race, the men's second varsity 8, I believe it was top 2 to the final, not the top 1. Sorry, we've kind of gone back and forth. The progression system here is fairly complicated, so we're having to work with the timing group to make sure that what we're letting you guys know is correct. We'll do every attempt to make sure that we're accurate. All right, so we're back in the racing action. We've just had a clean start here in the repechage for the women's varsity 8. In lane 1, Ohio State. Lane 2, University of Georgia. Lane 3, UC Davis. Lane 4, UC Santa Barbara. Lane 5, Vermont. Lane 6, University of Florida. And Lane 7, Oregon. And your early leader here will be Davis rowing out of lane 3. They have just about a deck over their closest competitor, which is going to come out of lane 5. That's Vermont. Vermont sitting with about 2 seats over UC Santa Barbara. Back to UC Santa Barbara in the 4th place position, it will be Georgia. So Georgia with a length over 5th place, Florida. And then Florida maybe a couple seats over Ohio State. And then in the 7th place position, it will be Oregon. So again, early leader is UC Davis, but looking at a really strong charge here by Vermont. And just as I've called all of those placements out, Vermont pulling even with Davis for the lead. Those two boats very, very close to each other, bow ball to bow ball. Savvy coxswains are going to look across and call for placement. So telling their rowers exactly where they're at. Give me a little bit more power. Give me 1 seat. You know, what kind of calls would you have here? In a 7-boat race, there's a lot of action going on, a lot of distraction. Whitney, what would be your call here for that Vermont boat?
Great question. For that Vermont boat, you know, again, you want to keep their heads in the game. You're going to hear so much noise. You're going to hear the chug, chug, chug of those riggers and the blades being pushed under the water, and you're going to hear other coxswains yelling other things. And so it's really going to be about getting their heads in the game and saying, listen to my voice. Mine's the only one that matters here. Let's start to kind of find that rhythm. We're in a good, confident spot. We should be comfortable here for now. Let's find that rhythm before we really start to walk away. So kind of setting the pace here for the rest of the race in attitude, in mentality, and in the rhythm.
And I'm seeing definitely that attitude of composure coming out of the Vermont boat. So they have taken over the lead from Davis. Davis and Vermont pretty close to each other, just a few seats separating themselves, and quite a bit of race course left. So we know that, you know, a lot can happen between this point in the race course and the finish line. But right now, Vermont and Davis well out in front. In the 3rd place position, Santa Barbara continues. They're holding off University of Georgia in 4th place. Behind them, it's going to be Ohio State. And then, you know, we're looking at the drone coverage, same as you online, hoping to get maybe a little bit wider angle so we can capture where Florida and Oregon are at. All right, Vermont continuing with that lead. Not a whole lot has changed in terms of spacing between the crews. So about even speed right here coming into this 3rd 500. It would be really cool to be able to see the splits. And by splits, I mean the time for each 500-meter chunk of this race. Because when not a whole lot has changed, that means that you have relatively good speed, even speed between a lot of these crews. So Vermont out in front, holding off UC Davis. Santa Barbara still right there in that 3rd place position. All right, in this progression, we will see 2 of these boats advance to the grand final. Right now, we're looking at those top 2 boats as being from Vermont and UC Davis. So all the way across the country, those competitors, Vermont rowing in the kingdom, the kingdom of Vermont, and then UC Davis rowing in the port of Sacramento. They could not be 2 opposite bodies of water, and both of them doing a great job here on Milton Lake in Oak Ridge. Back to both of those boats by a bit of open water, it will be UC Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara looking at a spot in the petite final. Santa Barbara also with a great history of club rowing and top finishes here at the ACRA Championships. Behind them in the 4th place position, it's going to be Georgia. Georgia rowing out of lane 2, but also really close to them, Florida. So Florida on the other side of the race course. We'll see what happens as we come down the race, but it's heating up here between Vermont and Davis. So Vermont still holding on to that lead, but Davis, man, what a sprint they've got. Whitney, take a look at this. I think, again, we're going to be looking at perhaps another photo finish.
What makes better TV? I mean, this is a great finish here. Vermont really staying composed and holding on to this race almost all the way through, and then out of nowhere, we have UC Davis coming in for the kill. And this is very, very exciting here. Coming into the last 10 strokes or so, both of these crews, looks like Vermont is still going to try to hang on to their lead with anything they've got left. They are going for it.
But great sprint there by Davis. And again, top 2 boats advanced to the grand final. So they did what they needed to do. They got in. Vermont, again, they are looking really, really strong in all of the events that they've been out on the water in this morning. UC Santa Barbara finishing now. Here comes Georgia, followed by Ohio State. So 4th and 5th right there. And then now University of Florida. And then finally Oregon.